if your content is not good, if your story is not relevant for the audience, or it's not entertaining them, it's not engaging them, it's not delivering them surprise, then no amount of marketing, putting billboards, or shouting from rooftops is going to help. So literally it is how much excellence do we deliver in the stories, and how important and urgent are those stories for our audiences.
So clearly Monica is happy that more and more players are coming into the streaming world. So one of them is Jio. Jio is joining the party now. And we know that they have a lot of moolah as well. So they announced a chunky Indian slate, and they recently announced that they will be the platform for showcasing of HBO content. When you hear an announcement like that, Monica, do you get sleepless nights? Because I know a lot of people, when HBO content went off from Disney, people are like, "Arey, but now why do we subscribe to this? IPL is not there, this is not there." So what does Monica Shergill do when she hears an announcement like, "Oops, HBO content is now going to Jio. What do I do now?"
I love watching HBO content. We've all loved Game of Thrones and Succession, and it's a hat tip to the wonderful storytelling that they do. But it doesn't make me nervous one bit. And I'll tell you why. The kind of width and breadth of programming that Netflix does the world over, from every conceivable market, in as many languages as possible, the kind of global cultural moments that we are able to drive, I think that's unmatched. It was so unheard of till a couple of years that there could be a show like Squid Game. Absolutely unheard of, that it would become a global phenomenon so fast, so quickly, and in such a defining way. And if I just look at today, just 2 weeks ago we dropped The Diplomat. It is already trending in the top 10 in 84 countries. That is the kind of reach that Netflix has, the global distribution scale that we have, that every story that a creator from India makes, or a creator from Korea makes, or Spain makes, or US makes, can actually just become a phenomenon. The same thing has happened if I were to just look closer home. RRR has been a phenomenon because of, it's a brilliant film. I love it. We just knew when it was coming on the service that what we could do with it and what the film can do for itself on a platform like Gangubai, for that matter. And Elephant Whisperers, the Oscar win, that a small story shot in the Mudumalai forest, of this couple can actually really make everyone sit up and look at the, bond between humans and animals. And as recent as Chor Nikal Ke Bhaga, a new director, Ajay Singh, Siraj Ahmed, the writer, and and Dinu as the producer, absolutely amazed that, in less than a week, the film was trending in the top 10 across 62 countries. That's the power and the breadth and the velocity and scale of what Netflix brings in bringing content from all over the world to India and taking Indian content across India and across the world.
So, you're mentioning top 10 a lot. I think there's something we need to discuss here. A lot of us want to know that what are the metrics for a success for a streaming show or film? How do you define that this has worked? There are no box office, there are no TRPs. So what for you as someone, as Netflix has been in the game for so long, how do you define the success of a show?
Suhani, you don't know what you've asked me. I can talk about this for hours. It is my pet peeve. Because everyone is so quick to declare success today, like there's a victory stand, and this is the most watched all time of greatest hit, and 10 most, 5 most. Every day you go on social and there is some declaration and multiple listicles and lists and a lot. I just want to say that a lot of content is being watched. Indians are amongst the most high consumers of content. No, I don't think we have too much time. I think we are stuck in traffic. We love our entertainment and we just can't have enough of it, and there are lesser opportunities for other entertainment things to do, and we need to exercise, which we don't do. So, but the success metrics, I think, are a very, very important thing that the industry needs to look at as a whole. I feel that from a streaming perspective, there is no methodology currently. Everyone thinks that just having a huge number of subscribers is a success metrics. So a lot of the services are bundling. Most of the subs that you see, subscriber base, comes through telco bundling, right? Where you have a whole lot of people who are in their telco plans, and they're discounted and subsidized. But how many people activate their accounts? What is the engagement? The truest metrics of success. And I think as it's early days for the industry, but I think it's not as early also to actually become responsible in terms of what model of streaming are we building? What kind of a healthy industry are we building? A healthy streaming business will be a business where you're high on engagement, you are looking at revenue because you have to create and you have to put that revenue back into the creator's pool. How will you grow the talent? How will you do the best in class, world-class entertainment? And how will you, and you have to have profit at the end of the day. Because as companies, any company globally, it is so important if you're running a healthy business model to look at all these three fundamentals of success. And not, race to the bottom. That race to the bottom can only be sustained if your core business is not entertainment and it's a side business for you, or it's a value add for you. But if you want to be a content company, an entertainment company that is delivering the best in the world, locally and globally, you have to start thinking of sustainability. And I was just outside talking about the new E&Y report that has come, and there is a conversation around what models are being pursued and how many will sustain. So as Netflix, we are very clear that we want to run a sustainable streaming model, and we want to be in business in a way where we declare profits, in our earnings calls of $5 to $6 billion. And most of our competitors world over are actually losing $10 to $11 billion collectively. And that is not the way to run a good streaming business.
So you think we can do better in terms of measuring success, right? The metrics can be a little more transparent. I mean, do you follow the reports when people say these were the top 5 most watched shows this week, or top 5 most films? Do you follow that? Does that?
I look at them and I don't believe most of it, because if you just look at the fine print of all these, the short-term sort of reports and lists that come, the methodology is highly questionable. It's not audited, it's not thought through, and it is highly questionable. And there is just a perception created. I also want to say something very controversial, if I may, that a lot of the most talked about things are sometimes not the most highly watched, and the reverse is also true. There's a lot of content, and that is a medium that streaming is. A lot of people watch and prefer their personal watch and do not go on social and talk about it. Another thing which we are observing is that critics couldn't be further away from what the audiences are liking. Audiences have a pulpit now. They tell when they like something, and many of them watch and talk, and many of them watch and maybe don't talk about it. But we are seeing, that is why we have transparent lists like the top 10 every day on the service. Every week on Tuesdays, we bring out the global lists. We share the view hours. In fact, we believe in being one of the most transparent companies where data is concerned, as much as we can share, because we are learning from everyone. We are learning from the audiences, and it helps to share, to tell people. And that's how we are going to learn and evolve and become a more mature service, a more mature industry.
So, one thing streaming platforms have done is that it has erased all geographical and linguistic boundaries, right? I'm watching K-dramas, Mexican, Spanish shows. I wanted to know, as someone who is now with Netflix, is our content resonating abroad, globally? Alia was mentioning the other day to me that how she suddenly, when Gangubai dropped on Netflix, her Instagram following just spiked because there were people from Thailand, Indonesia following her. We've seen how RRR in Hindi has been watched a lot. Is that happening? Are people watching Indian shows, Indian films, Netflix subscribers?
You know, it's a very interesting phenomenon that's unfolding. Something is really bubbling up, and we are seeing it. It's almost like it's very exciting for us to see when a title comes. It's almost like a heat map that we see when it starts sort of traveling across. And really, I think it's a testament to what streaming as an industry is doing. And Netflix is at the forefront of it because of, like I mentioned, our global distribution scale and also our subbing and dubbing efforts. We sub and dub in nearly 37 languages at very, very high quality. Our product is able to give recommendations and have personalization in a way that it really makes the storytellers, the creators' stories travel across the world. They are taken to people, who are lovers of that genre, who are interested in trying anything that becomes big in the home country. And I actually want to double click on that. Anything which you see becoming a global hit or traveling a lot more globally has to be a hit locally first. So when it starts working for the local audience, when more and more people watch, it really sets off a virtuous cycle of it being served to, like Chor Nikal Ke